Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, here I wanna review from thesis. The title is Improving Student Speaking Skill in English Education, English Lesson with Action Learning Strategy at Age Grade of MTSPAB HELVETIA, Department of English Education, Faculty, Tarbiyah, and Teacher Training. So, the first from the chapter 1, introduction, and the background of the study. In this area of globalization, English language is important for our life. In fact, it is the second most spoken language in the world. Globalization made the use of English language more widely. So, said the thesis, if as a professional teacher in language teaching, especially the teaching of English methodology for great effectiveness in students' education on English. So there is from background the background learning conversational skills through or receive less attention from teacher through observation at MTSPAB 1 Helvetia. Researchers found data that speaking English skill provided by teacher are dominant by using grammar that makes students know only the form of language tenses. So without giving an opportunity for students to practicing this effect of those the students have not skill to communicate in English. So which can be seen from the inability of students to answer questions that raised by teacher in English speaking student, and the result that show only 10 of the 44 students who scored highly skilled students speak English, while the other 28 students scored below the value of skilled individuals. So from the identification of the problem, by the student motivation is low in learning English. Second, the English teacher how talk about speaking skill and the media is still low. So third, the teaching method is not appropriate on activities to practice speaking in English. That's why the students have lost speaking skill in English.
Next, I will review explanation chapter 3 research method and chapter 4 analysis data findings and discussion. Research design. This study evaluates the quantitative and qualitative data. Locations of the research. The study took place in MTS PAB1 Helvetia, which was located in Street Veterans Plaza for Helvetia, Labuan Daily Edition. The school has 12 classes. There were 4 English teachers in the school. The recent study was conducted at 7 grades of MTS PAB1 Helvetia. Type of the research. In classroom examinations, there were 4 tests that should be conducted, namely planning, action, observation, and reflecting. The 4 tests were done in 2 sequences. Each sequence consisted of 4 steps. Each sequence contains 4 steps which are planning, action, observation, and reflection. Before the cycle 1 begins, orientation test is administration to identify the basic knowledge of the student about speaking ability. The subject of the research was the student of 7 grads of MTS-PAB1 HELVETIA who were in the second semester of the academic year of 2016 to 2017. There were 44 students in the classroom with the total of 22 male students and 22 female students. Time of the research. The research study was conducted in the second semester of the academic year of 2016 to 2017. The action were carried out in March to April 2017. The observation was done on April 2017. Further of observation. The classroom action results are cut. Using capstone and targets, the science concepts of work phase they are planning, acting, observing, and reflecting after going for phase correct one cycles. After finishing the first cycles, it might be found new problems or the previous unfinished problem needs. Therefore, it is necessary to continue to the second cycles in line with the same concepts of the first cycles. The instruments of qualitative data is used by the research to get the data observation by using observation, interview, questionnaire test, retest, and post-test, and documentations. Technique of qualitative data. The the quantitative data. In collecting the data, the writer tested the students by asking them to give up reports orally, either in individual tests or group tests based on the topic given. The time given was 90 minutes. In parsing the data of speaking text, the writer uses the category that influence over criticisms. Its criticisms was shockers 25 points. So for all criticisms, students would get 100 points. Uh, every every aspect of speaking was graded from 0 to 25. The category are vocabulary, pronunciation, accuracy, and fluency, and the quantitative data observation and the qualitative data observation. In this case, the research used the unstructured observation to get the real condition in teaching learning process interview before implementation. The research interviews the teacher about student difficulties in the speaking skill, students' condition in speaking activity, and the kinds of strategies usually adopted by the teacher in teaching speaking. Test 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 the research used the oral test for the students. Documentation. The research used a camera to collect on the data. Technique of analysis data. The study applies the quantitative data and qualitative data. The quantitative data was used to analyze the score of students, while the qualitative data was used to describe the situation during on the teaching process by athletes. This data was assumed to get the stepping result of the improving ability in speaking, coach, acting, action learning strategy. The qualitative data was analyzed from the instruments. The quantitative data was analyzed to see the improving of the improving of student speaking ability. Finding. The results indicates that there was an increase on the students' speaking skill. By using action learning strategy, the mean of second cycles was 82.11. It indicated that the scores and the mean in second cycles were better than the first cycles. The percentage of students who got point 75 also grew up. In the first test, the student who got points 75 up were our students 9.9%. In the fourth test, obstacles one students who got point 70 up were 30 students. Act uh, 30, 30 students 60 act point 16%. The fourth test obstacles 2. Students who got point 75 were 30 active students. Active 30 students. Active 6.36%. In other words, the students' ability in speaking improved and became well in the first meeting to the next meeting. The research also analyzed qualitative data to support research findings. Besides the qualitative data, the quantitative data. The qualitative data were organized from the observation sheet and interview photograph. All of this data indicates that the students given their attitudes and response during teaching learning process based on the results of the quantitative and qualitative data. It codes that action learning strategy codes improve students' ability in speaking expressively at MTSPAB 1's HELVETIA. Discussion. Discussion. This research was conducted to find out the improvement of the students' speaking skill in English lesson by using action learning strategy. The action learning strategy was one of the strategy that could be used by the teacher in teaching English to improve the student ability in speaking. The research that had been done by the researcher indicate that action learning strategy was activity or could be used in the teaching speaking. It could be seen from the tables that show the increasing of students score from pre-test, post-test 1 and post-test 2. The increase because the teacher now uh, now how to control the class and create the active class. Besides that, the action learning strategy helped the students to understand the subject actually. So it could be that the result of the research showed that the implementation of learning strategy could improve the students' ability in speaking. It ought be seen from the qualitative data. By proof, the students score got better in the post-test one that per-test, and the post-test 2 got better than the post-test 1. Not have cuts be seen from the qualitative data that show the students was activity and spirits in teaching learning process. That's all chapter 3 and chapter 4.
Okay, next from chapter 5. This is about calculation and suggestion. In calculation, based on the data analysis in chapter 5, F4, the calculation was drawn as following. There's action, learning, strategy, activity, and can improve students' speaking ability. Show by the score they get furthermore, and so there is the student were more active and participate in the teaching learning process of speaking. Therefore, so in suggestion, in this part the reader would like to give some suggestion to be considered by English teacher as follow. There's from A, action learning strategy would be very helpful to improve students' ability in speaking, so the teacher needs to maintain using action learning strategy as alternative technique of the teaching process in the second year student of junior high school. So B, the teacher should give clear explanation and interaction in directing her students using action learning strategy. And C, the teacher should control the student activities. Okay, just that from me, Jumutia, and my friends Adam Aldo Maulana. The last from our explanation. The last essay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.